Okay, greetings everyone. Staying in the light here. We're going to start in a couple of minutes. Trying to see if others coming in. So we start on time. So if you came ahead of time, we appreciate that. But we gotta wait for those who said I said 10 o'clock. I didn't say 10:57 or 10:50. I didn't say 9:57 or 9:58 or 9:59. So we have to make sure we keep our word to the minute. Greetings, everyone. This is Kaiser Staying in the Light. This is the third lecture series on real uncovered history. Actually, we call it Our Story because history has been compromised. All right, let me see your likes. If you like what's the presentation, the videos, let me know you appreciate what we're doing. These are mounds. These are the ancient mounds all around North America. They were ancient burial sites that we had before 1492. So no, history did not start with Columbus. We've been here thousands of years. Thank you for the likes. Appreciate that. Okay, let's get started. It is exactly countdown 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, countdown. We're going to start exactly at 10 o'clock. There you go. All right. Greetings, everyone. We're going to have a poem to start off the class with. Before chains, we had land. Before they had said slave, we spoke our own names. We were here when the rivers ran clean and the stars ruled the stars ruled the calendar. The lie was loud, but the land remembers, and so do we. The lie of the slave narrative. Let's be clear. The so-called black people in America were never slaves in origin. They were free, indigenous people, nations, conquered and renamed. The entire narrative of black slavery is a colonial invention built to hide the fact that indigenous dark-skinned people were already here, prosperous and self-governing. Let's think about that for a minute. Do anybody go to Philippines where there's dark-skinned people or Vietnam or anywhere and tell them they came from Africa? No, they dare not. Do you go to Argentina and tell the dark people there they came from Africa? No, they dare not. Well, why America? Why do the people here, the original people here, the indigenous people, and by the way, if you didn't come from dark skinned people, you cannot be indigenous. Indigenous means original. So all these people who parading as indigenous people are lying unless they can prove their dark skinned ancestry. So let's get to the chase. We have a history to prove we're here. Look at the land. The land is the first evidence. Look at these mounds I'm showing you. These were our ancient burial sites. They are thousands of years old, but a lot of them are being hidden by parks. They cover them with golf courses. They cover them with lakes. Most of them are covered with lakes. These man-made lakes. City, Central Park in New York is covering an ancient city called Simi, the Shawnee. This is what has been done to try to hide the fact that you have a whole nations of people, not just one, thousands of nations of people decimated. But we are still here. You cannot destroy the creators. So they want to hide the fact that indigenous dark-skinned people were already here, prosperous and self-governing. I got messages to prove to you. I can prove you right now that there are, excuse me, I got a little distracted from the chat. We always got challenges in the chat. I can prove you that the Constitution that they're writing, that the so-called forefathers got, came from the Algonquin Federation, and they're giving recognition of that in this document I have. Remind me, I'll show it to you someday. And I know about these indigenous people because I've traced my ancestry to them. Not by nothing they have out there, but by oral history. I'm grateful enough to have lived to talk to my grandfather, who was born in the 1880s, and I had a great-grandmother who was born in the 1860s, so they was able to pass down some of their history to us. And these are some of the people that they say were slaves: Washita, Yamasee, Choctaw, Caddo, Natchez, Gulagiche, Muscogee, and other whose descendants now check boxes that say they're black. This because of the rules they've made for us that we could not claim our indigenous heritage. Oh, thank y'all for coming in, and the likes and the subscriptions. That's appreciated. It keeps us rotating. Now, historically, Slavic people from Eastern Europe was taken in mass by the Moorish and Roman traders and sold into bondage. The Latin term Slavos means slave. That became the root word for the word slave. So that lets you know that Slavics were the original slaves, not so-called black people. So we know this is hard pill for y'all to swallow because y'all grew up in public schools and was so terribly miseducated. So you just as much a victim as anyone else. We're not pointing fingers, we're just telling you we're shedding the light on everything over here. And I know it's hard to swallow. I know you're going through a lot of trauma right now, but just do some research on your own. If you can conquer that fear. So the original slaves were white people from Slavic regions, not indigenous Americans. The dark-skinned indigenous nations have never been slaves. Now we were prisoners of war, yes, because we were forced to accept the religion of Christianity under threat of death, and we couldn't speak our language. We couldn't wear any of our we couldn't practice any of our culture or teach our children under the penalty of death. And that's the truth. And it's sad history, but until America comes to grips with that history, the land is going to constantly remind you. Okay, where's this proof I'm talking about? It's all around you. It's all around you. And we have some more classes coming. We're going to show you where these mounds are. They're all over America, not just in North America, all over the Americas.
We had a thriving civilization. We used to transport by canals. We had a canal system. But when the European colonists came here, they they closed all the canals. Some of them they made into lakes, and they made parts of the country landlocked. All this was for economic reason and to destroy us. There hasn't been any war to destroy a people more than it's done here in America, and it hasn't stopped. And it's you can I say it like this: how long can a people be lied to until they learn the truth? And so, with the knowledge coming out now, the research being done, a lot of people are discovering the truth. And I'm not saying nothing that even so-called white people are telling you the truth these days. So this shouldn't be shocking to you, as if I'm a crazy man or something. Your own people are trying to tell you the truth. So don't just believe me, because it's easy to be lazy and not study and believe what you was taught. You was miseducated, and that's why y'all are so resistant to the truth, because you have to go against everything you was taught. Yes, that's a hard pill to swallow. Your parents, your whole system lied to you, and it's hard to admit that. But until you get rid of that trauma, you are going to be in a torment yourself, because you won't know who you are until you face the truth. That's healing. That's why they say America's is sick, because you need healing. You need hands laid on you. So you can call me any name you want to. It doesn't bother me, because I know who I am, and by knowing who I am, I know who you are. And if that's all you got is name calling, you haven't. That shows you haven't evolved from elementary school. We did that in elementary school. As grown adults, we don't call people names anymore. We at least try to have an intelligent argument. But that's something you haven't been taught, because the way you are taught is like a fifth grader on TV. Nothing there is conducive to civilization. Filth, murder, all these low vibrations is all y'all have received since birth. I don't know any decent person can watch TV and not be offended. That's your culture. But y'all wasn't always like that. I grew up when you had decent shows on TV. I remember Ozzie and Harriet, Father Knows Best, Leave It to Beaver. There was no killing in these movies. There was no sexual deviance in those movies. But now everything is about murder, murder. And you wonder why people are killing each other, because that's what they're being taught. They're being taught murder, murder every day. So I'm just speaking outside of the lecture to see if y'all have any questions. It's intelligent people ask questions. People who have no intelligence, just they just they, like dogs like to bark because they can't talk. But as human beings, we should be able to talk and not bark like dogs because some news is upsetting to you. You have to honor your parents and your ancestors. I know they taught you better than that. You can do better than that. Well, maybe you can't. Anyway, we coming up on our time, and I'm gonna give you a couple minutes to ask some intelligent questions. If you dare, surprise me. Okay, look like nobody's in the chat. Nobody have any questions. Okay, well, thank those who did stop by. It took courage to listen to me. I know it did. It takes courage to hear another point of view, something you've never been taught. Just to listen to it take courage. So I applaud you for your courage. And we're going to say peace to the peaceful and love to the loving. Because we remember when we had our land before they said we were slaves and they took our names and made us speak their language. We were here when the rivers ran clean and the stars ruled the calendar. But their lie was so loud, but it didn't drown in the sea because the land remembers and the water, and so do we. Staying in the light society.